Students, we will see the grouping of the records of a table, a quick review of the contents which have already been discussed in the class, and in addition to it, we will see the use of having clause in the group. So let us start. Consider the following table. This table is student table. As you can see, it has admission number, name, class, section and fees. Please see the table carefully because the following commands are going to cover the content of this table. Before we proceed further, we will have a quick look on the aggregate functions. Aggregate functions are used to implement calculations based upon a particular column. These functions always return a single value. Aggregate functions are sum, average, max, min and count, and we have already seen the functioning of each of these functions. Sum function is used to find the total value of a particular column and it takes numeric argument. Obviously, we can find sum only of the numeric values. Similarly, average function, AVG, this function is used to find average value of a particular column. It takes numeric arguments again. Then the max function, this function is used to find maximum value of a particular column. Now there is no limit of what type of argument this function can take. It can take any data type as its argument. Next is minimum. This function is used to find minimum value of a particular column. It can take any data type again as an argument. Count function is very commonly used function in SQL. This function is used to find total number of values or rows of a particular column. It can take either asterisk symbol as an argument, which represents all records, or it may take a field name whose value we want to count. Now, the null values are treated specially in a different way by aggregate functions, but we are going to discuss it in another class because we want to concentrate on the group by clause in this video. Now, implementing of aggregate functions. See, we can use aggregate functions as follows. You have some queries in front of you. Seeing the above table, select sum fees from student. Output is 17,500 because it adds the fees of all the rows of the table student. Second query, select sum fees of student where section is equal to A and the output is 4,500 because it adds fees of all rows in which section is A in the table student. And you can see we are going back to this table student. You can see here there are two sections which are of A and the fees is 2,500 and 2,000, and our query is giving us only the sum of these two rows. Select count star from student where section is equal to A and output is 2 because it is counting the number of rows from the table student in which section is coming as A. Now what is common in all these? That we have specified a condition and it is performing the aggregate function according to this one condition, and it is checking this condition on each of the rows. It is checking each row where it is matching. It is computing the aggregate function. Okay. Now we are going to ponder on these requirements. Read these questions carefully. What if our requirement is to print total number of students in each section, and that also in one report? I want to print section A contains 4 students, section B contains 3 students, everything in one report. I do not want like this where it is giving me only one output. I want the output to be containing the name of the field and an aggregate operation performed on it. Second, if I want to print average fees of students in each section, that also in one report. Section wise aggregate fees, average fees. Then if I want to print maximum fees charged in each section in one report, again in one report of my select query, I want to print maximum fees which is charged by section A, maximum fees charged by section B, maximum fees charged by section C. I want all these together, not one answer. I want all these together as a group. Print class-wise fees charged in one report. For each class, how much fees is being charged. I do not want only for 11th or only for 12th. I want for each class how much fees is being charged. So all these questions can be answered with the help of group by clause. We have already done group by clause. I am repeating it again. Group by is a clause that enables SQL aggregate functions for grouping of information. Group by clause is used in collaboration with the select statement to arrange identical data into groups. Yes, this clause is used whenever aggregate functions are to be implemented after grouping common values of the field. Yes, or on the group of common values. See the example which is following. I want to display number of students of each class. So this each class is telling me that class wise number of students are required. This is the deciding factor for us to know that we are needing group by for our query. So select count star comma class. Now please see, it was asking you to display only number of students, but we are displaying the class also, because our output will not look nice or not be completed if we do not print the field on which the grouping is done along with the aggregate function. Okay, from student group by class. So this is output. You will get the number of students and the class. Now remember this very important thing. In group by clause, yes, only two types of items come along with the select clause. The field on which grouping is done, or aggregate function which is to be used to perform a on the group. The aggregate function which is to be performed and the group by field. So now the answers of the queries which we saw here. We had asked some questions here. Now we are going to get the answers of these queries here. Print total number of students in each section, and I want the output in one report. Output will be, the query is select section comma count star from students, group by section. We are going to group on section because it was requiring for each section number of students. So for number of students, the function is count star, and for each section it tells us that we are going to group. So group by section, and remember to put the grouped field here so that the output is better. Then the next was print average fees of students in each section in one report. Again select section comma average fees from students, group by section. Next query, print maximum fees charged in each section in one report. So again in each section was required, so select section comma max fees from student, group by section. Print class-wise fees charged in one report. So it is asking class-wise fees. So we are not going to group on section now. It is asking for class-wise fees. We are going to group on class. And my complete query will become select class, comma, some fees from students, group by class. So I hope you are able to understand the difference between the queries which we were writing before here and the queries which we are writing now, and this is the deciding factor of how to and when to use group. Moving further, putting conditions in the group. See here, putting conditions in the group. When I want, we have already seen, earlier we have seen the where clause is used only to place conditions on the selected columns and to filter the rows according to the condition. So how does our where clause works? It works by putting a check on individual rows. See, here we are using where, here we were using where. It is putting conditions on individual rows and filtering the rows according to the condition required. But here the concept is different. Now we have grouped the common values together. When I am grouping on class, 12, 12, 12, 11, 11. Yes, there is no group common value of 10. So these will be grouped together according to their common values. So now they are no longer individual rows. They have become groups because we have learned how to group them according to our requirement. So here, where clause cannot be used to put a condition on a group. So here, having clause is used to place condition on groups created by group by clause. Please note where clause is not usable in this condition, and please remember this: wherever you are putting a group, we are making a group, you have to put having clause for checking of the condition. Here there is a small example how to implement the having clause. The question says display sum of fees which is more than 5,000 for each class. So it is telling for each class it wants to find sum of fees. So here we had 11th, we had 12th, we had 10th, and we want to find sum of each class. So sum of the each class means 12, 12, 3 plus 2500, it becomes 5500. Then 11 and 11, when it will be grouped together, 4500 plus 2500, and 10th is only 2000. So which is a class which will be grouped but still the fees is not more than 5000, and that is class 10th. Rest groups are having their fees more than 5000 when they are being grouped. So coming back to the output of this query, see here, output will be class 11 7000, 12th 8500, 10th will not come here because 10th was not having fees greater than 5000. So having clause filters only those groups of classes where sum of fees is more than 5000 in this above query. Please remember a very important point. Having clause is followed by an aggregate function on which condition is checked. Always remember this, that after having clause, an aggregate function is coming and you want to perform this condition on a group. That is why you are finding an aggregate function. Okay, so remember these concepts and do the questions which are going to be given to you in your class. Practice them and you will be able to do and understand the group by and having clause. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope it is going to be a helpful concept building video for you.